welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show where honesty is never the best policy. On Lee Mack's team tonight, a legendary Shakespearean actor who starred in Hamlet, Much Ado About Nothing and King Lear, though, of course, I know him best from Peppa Pig. It's Brian Blessed! An actor whose first role was in the highly rated Grange Hill. I say highly rated, it only got a satisfactory from Ofsted. It's Kevin Bishop! On David Mitchell's team tonight, young and good-looking. He's at least one of those things. It's the young Josh Widdicombe. And an historian and broadcaster who says she's into historical fashion. So is David, but not intentionally. It's Professor Kate Williams. So we begin with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before, they've no idea what they'll be faced with, and it's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. Josh is first up tonight. Josh, would you reveal all?
To keep fit every morning, I do just one press-up, one sit-up and one star jump.
Please, team.
Well, it's clearly working.
Do you know what? I'm going to take that on face value. Thank you very much.
Why don't you do more? You can manage 2 of everything, surely.
No, because it's in the bathroom every morning.
Right.
And I've never been very good at physical fitness. I don't enjoy it. But what happened was I thought I'll start by doing one of each and then I'll build up slowly but surely.
Yeah. Do you press up on your fists or your hands?
Well, my hands, because I'm not insane.
On your hands?
Can you do press-ups on your fist?
Yes, I can. Yes. Yeah, I do about 50, 60, 70. There's no end to my...
Whoa, really?
You mock what I do.
That's right.
But...
Yes.
He does 60 press-ups, I do 1. Who's in the better shape?
Well, hang on. He's climbed Everest. What have you ever done?
1 sit-up, 1 star jump.
Could you demonstrate how you do it for us?
Why don't you pop yourself just there?
All right, so...
Shows. Do you go into this in a sort of giddy way, or do you warm up? Because I find...
I warm up?
I find when I wake up in the morning, it takes me a while before I reach my full potential. I can't just go at it hammer and tongs. I have to stretch a little bit, make sure all the extremities are working.
This is another detail as to why I do it in the bathroom, because I go for a shower, I take my boxer shorts off, which I sleep in, so I normally do it in the...
in the nude?
In the all-together, yes.
Yeah, OK.
Well, what order do you do them in?
Press-up, sit-up, star jump.
Well, you've got a
So I do
system.
strength followed by cardio.
Go on, then, do your press-up.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been ready for a while, Josh, to be honest.
I'll be honest, normally I have my inhaler, so this is a gamble.
Are you this reticent at home in the morning?
No, but normally Lee Mack's not sat in the corner making jokes at me.
Whoa. I'm never there. I'm never there. I just want to make that absolutely clear. Can I ask you a question, Josh? Sorry. Do you live with anybody?
Yeah, my girlfriend.
Oh, OK. Not
Yeah.
true. It's a lie.
So walk in, close the door, walk across.
So, whoa. You live with your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Why do you need to close the door?
Oh, because, come on, how emasculating is my exercise routine?
I don't know. We haven't seen it yet.
I do think as well, Lee, it's very important to keep mystery in a relationship if you want to maintain the magic. If you parade in front of your partner without a second thought, I think the magic can slowly diminish.
Well, I'm lucky because my wife is blind.
I think she's the lucky one in that relationship. All right.
Right, walk in, close the door, and then...
All right.
Straight down. Into the press-up.
1.
Round.
Ooh.
Into the sit-up.
Straight with that one.
Do you remember, back in the day, in the Rocky movies, the training montages?
Yeah.
That's what's coming back for me when I watch them.
Have you been doing this for long?
Yeah, 3 months.
You seem to be struggling a bit on the sit-up.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a...
By the way, you may have to at some point.
There's a ridge under the bath that I can normally stick my toes under, so I use that.
Oh, so you even cheat for your one-sitter?
Brian, does it ring true?
Yes, it does to a certain extent. I mean, because I sleep naked. As
You what?
As nature intended. And I've got lots of animals. I have a Jack Russell female that absolutely adores me, and she sleeps between my legs. And she wakes me up by scratching my privates.
Yes.
Can I just check? Have I had a blackout and we're talking about something else?
So Brian thinks it rings true. Kevin, what did you make of it?
I think it's silly,
But it's working. You've got to see that it's working.
I think it might be true.
Well, I have to go with my team and say true, then.
Wow, OK, true. Josh, truth or is it a lie?
It is a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Josh doesn't do one press-up, one sit-up and one star jump every morning. Brian, it's your turn.
While searching for a mythical beast in the jungle, my boat was skippered by an orangutan.
Sorry.
Well, we've had this one before.
Yes. I'll make it easier. It was a canoe. He
Right.
was paddling a canoe.
I wasn't imagining one of those big cruise ships.
Not a big ship. I went as the guest of the Viceroy of Malaysia, and we were there specifically to hunt for the orang pendek, upright
Brian,
man,
can I just
which
stop
is
you?
which is a kind of yeti. We got into the canoe, and there's a canoe there, and this orangutan, they always love me because I look like a gorilla. I got in it, and it rode, and I made noises at it. I actually developed the noise for the King of the Gungans in Star Wars. I played Boss Nass, and when the Jedi wanted me to help them, they all kneeled in front of me. I stepped in front of it.
Brian.
And this, when I did that to the orangutan, you went...
So let me clarify. You're in search of a mythical beast, and you arrive in Malaysia, and you come across a river, you get into a canoe, the canoe, at the oars of the canoe, is already an orangutan.
That's right.
He starts rowing. You give directions to the orangutan using noises later to be employed in a major sci-fi franchise. Yeah.
How far did the orangutan take you?
Oh, about 10, 15, 20 miles. Very powerful. Very
Did you
upright
feed
body.
him?
And at the end of the journey, when we got off the bank, he gave me a wonderful, big, deep-throated kiss.
I would like to pause the proceedings and have a word with my client.
And of course...
We'd like to change your plea.
And he liked...
Insanity.
He loved it when I... He loved it when I belched.
Let me ask this. The orangutan, was he paddling with an oar?
Oh, yes, he's right.
Or was he paddling with his large hands?
No, he was paddling like an Olympic rower.
Oh, no! Come on!
So, David, what is your team thinking about Brian's story?
Kate, do you think it's
Well,
true?
I like the detail, but I'm concerned about the distance the orangutan succeeded in. Had it been just 5 metres, I could have believed it, but all that way...
I think it would have the upper body strength,
Yes.
but would an orangutan see the point
Yes.
of rowing strangers 20 miles?
Do you know the only thing I don't buy is that?
Well, I once heard a podcast in which someone described a chimpanzee making a gin and tonic.
Well, sorry, David, you have won me round.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's true?
Yeah, it's true,
You say it's
yeah.
true. Brian Blessed, was that the truth or was it a lie?
True.
Yes, it's true. Brian's boat was skippered by an orangutan. Kevin, you're next.
Right. I once found my postman's finger.
OK. Where?
On the floor in my hallway.
On the floor in your hallway?
Well, he
Been sliced off by the letterbox.
Sliced off by the letterbox.
He was posting a letter
No.
through my letterbox on a Saturday morning. And,
That doesn't sound very likely.
and we suddenly saw a postman up against the window with a finger missing. He was banging on the window, screaming for help. And when we went to answer the door, the finger was just Just there. It was completely off.
From where? From halfway?
From his hand.
No, from his hand. I mean, from whereabouts on the finger?
From the top knuckle.
You can stick it back on, can't you, and tape it and things like that.
Yeah,
And help
we,
before the hospital comes along, the doctor.
We put it in ice. And he took it to the hospital with him, and they stitched it back on.
And did it still
Apparently.
move?
I don't know. I've not seen him since.
Had you previously noticed quite how vicious the action on your letterbox was?
Well, I've never posted a letter in my own letterbox.
Oh, you've had to pull a bulky one through. We all have. And I have. Well, what I bet happened is it came down on him and he recoiled in terror. Something that I'm sure Brian could act with great... Imagine,
Yeah,
Brian,
yeah.
you put your finger in, you got it caught. How would you recoil?
How do you go? Ah! Something like that.
Yes, yes. That sort of thing, yes.
Was it harrowing? Like, I'd find
him,
that...
yeah.
For him.
It must have been quite harrowing for you.
How old
it
were you?
was.
Yeah.
I was about 10.
And who phoned 999 and say,
Not the postman.
I've got the postman's finger?
I mean, let's be practical. You could use your other hand.
So, David, what do you think?
Do you think it's true?
I don't. I think it would have been more kind of affecting. I think Kevin's a bit laissez-faire with something that would have maybe been
He
quite...
wouldn't be able to tell a story like this yet.
Because it'd be so traumatic.
Yeah. And in fact, whenever anyone beckoned to him, he'd scream.
Do you beckon to someone, or do you beckon someone?
Probably beckon. You're right, I've wasted a preposition.
So what do you say, truth or lie?
Yeah.
I don't want it to be true, because if it is true for Kevin's postman, it could be true for ours, because... Well,
Well,
might
suddenly it
happen.
explains all
Might
those
just
fingers
happen.
on the doormat.
Yeah.
I think it's not true. I think the ice is too convenient and it... I don't know what I mean by that.
We're going to say it's not true.
It's a lie, then.
Yeah.
Kevin Bishop, the truth or a lie?
It is, in fact, true.
Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guests, Jenna, Thomas and Joanna. So, Kate, first of all, what are they to you?
This is Jenna, Thomas and Joanna, and they let me sleep in their tent in Glastonbury when I couldn't find mine.
OK. Josh, how do you know them?
This is Jenna, Thomas and Joanna, and together we made up my entire school year.
Right. David, what is your connection?
This is Jenna, Thomas and Joanna, and I nudged them into a canal when I lost control of my Boris bike.
So, there we have it. Are they Kate's festival friends, Josh's school chums, or David's bike buddies? Lee's team.
Josh, when you say between the four of you, you made up your school year, do you mean it didn't exist?
My entire year was us four.
So I'm looking at faces now to see if they look an equal age. Now, well, yeah, I suppose they... Do you think they look an equal age?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, that's convincing.
OK, that bit of the story we believe.
Yes.
They look a lot younger than Josh, it has to be said.
Well,
Well, you know, they're probably doing 3 to 4 press-ups a day.
what's...
Between them or in...
What year was this?
1987
Yeah.
to 1994. I'd have been 4 to 11.
Where was it? Where were you at school?
Devon,
Where in Devon?
on Dartmoor.
How many kids were in the other years?
Oh, well, ours was the smallest.
You don't say.
Yeah. So the one below was 6.
Right.
I think it actually started to get bigger because the school got more popular, so by the time I was leaving, you were looking at 8s or 9s.
Right.
It's ridiculous. How does a child get any attention with that sort of class size?
Have you stayed in contact with them?
I haven't stayed in contact with Jenna and Joanna.
Why?
Why?
Hang on, let's test him on this. Which one is Thomas?
Thomas is in the middle. And I've seen him a couple of times because his brother's married to my sister.
Really?
Yeah.
And they talk about the Welsh, don't they? If this is the size of your year, what happened when you got to the nativity play or the summer concert? How
The
did
summer concert?
or the garden party? Or the...
When you troop the colour, how did you do that?
Well, it wasn't just a class of 4. We were taught 4 years together.
Oh, so 4 4s, 12.
16.
16. 16. And that's the benefit of the smaller class size, isn't it?
Is it still as small?
Well, I don't still go.
No, but you must know. You must know.
It would be frowned upon if I hung outside counting the children.
I'm interested to know what the system was at lunchtime. Was it packed lunches, or did they provide something hot?
Obviously, because there was only, 40 children in our school, there was no need to cook school dinners on site.
So what, you went to a restaurant? What are you talking about?
So we went to Wagamama's. No. So what would happen? Because obviously most of us were packed. So there was...
You've got a very high opinion of yourself.
So what would happen would be, when you were answering the register, you wouldn't say here. Instead, you'd say packed or dinners. And then one of the children would tally up the amount of people that say dinners. Mm-hmm. And then they'd go and phone it through to the nearest school. Who would...
The nearest school is where you are.
No, to the next school. They would then cook us the 8 dinners and get them sent across.
You were having supply dinners, essentially, weren't you?
Yeah, we had a kind of Meals on Wheels deal with our dinners.
Wow. All right, who would you like to quiz next?
David.
Yeah, Dave.
Where were you cycling on your Boris bike?
The Regent's Canal in London. Sort of from where I live towards... eastwards, towards King's Cross.
Eastwards? Where were you going? Mordor? I was travelling eastwards.
Eastwards, yes, easterly. In an easterly direction.
I'm off out. Where are you going? I'm going eastwards. I'll see you later. When you're back, I don't know. It depends what the westerly wind's like on the way back. Have you got a bay of Boris bikes near you?
Not that near me. I was hurrying somewhere and I was late.
Where were you going?
To a meeting.
Were you wearing a helmet?
I was not.
Right. So you were going to a meeting, you're in a rush. How do you manage to knock 3 people in?
It's ridiculous,
Was it like, were they
isn't it?
stood dressed as dominoes?
Yeah. No, they were sort of sitting on the edge of the canal. I was... Right, I'm not an experienced cyclist. I'd only got the Boris bike because I was running so late.
Did you knock them in the river and you thought, let's swap numbers and keep in touch?
That's exactly it.
Yes.
I thought that.
So just talk us through it in a bit more detail. Did you knock them off with your body? Did you knock them off with the bike?
I'm cycling along the towpath. I'm late.
You're late.
My phone rings. It's the people at the meeting. And I'm afraid I answer my phone on the towpath.
Without a helmet?
Helmetless.
David.
You don't expect me to put a helmet on to answer my phone.
And when they went in, what did you then do?
Well, they were out again as soon as they were in. It
Shallow.
wasn't a very deep bit of the canal. The deeper water is further out. That's actually the title of my collection of poems.
David?
Yeah.
If I was cycling at speed and I hit 3 people, I think I'd go over myself. I think the momentum would take me off my bike.
Well, what can I tell you? It doesn't happen.
What about Kate? Do you have any questions, Brian, for Kate?
Yes.
What did Kate say?
She couldn't find a tent at Glastonbury, so these 3 reprobates, let's call them, offered for her to sleep in their tent.
They're my knights in shining armour. They rescued me.
Do you know that I've just done the voiceover for all the loos at Glastonbury?
Oh.
For the loos?
What do you say? What is the voiceover?
Are you enjoying your loo? Some people don't have any loo at all. And all over the world, they don't have a loo. And you're privileged to have a loo. I've just done a whole government thing for it. I thought possibly you might have sat on one of these loos.
No, but I'm envisioning the thought of going into a loo and suddenly you popping into my ear.
Can I just, at this point, Kevin, I know for a fact, can do a very, very good Brian Blessed impersonation.
I know I wouldn't absolutely. Are you sitting down? Are you sitting comfortably?
Oh, great, now I've got it in stereo. First of all, when was this?
This was Glastonbury 2011. My boyfriend bought tickets for him and his brother, and then I heard that Beyoncé was going to be there, so I said I'll come too, so I could see the goddess.
OK,
in
and
person.
so you've lost your tent.
So 1 o'clock in the morning, I needed to go to the loo, so I set off in search of the loos with my phone.
And because you'd gone to see Beyonce, when you couldn't find your tent, there's a joke coming up. Did you go, uh-oh, 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 uh-oh?
Rob.
No.
He told us about some joke that was on its way. So you come back and you can't find your tent.
Well, I had a bit of a loo mission because the first set of loos were not clean, and so I had to try and find some more. So I went. Someone said there's some more over there, and there were people, sort of, you know, making new friends there. So I didn't want to stay there. This poor woman who was taking pity on me said, there's some other over there. So I went to the other ones. And
This is like a quest.
Yes.
First set of loos too dirty. Second set of loos too sexually compromised. Set
This
of
is
loos
the
number
voiceover
3.
you want in the toilet, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, this is for defecation, not sexual compromise.
Yes, I have the precise timbre to reverse arousal.
So you're crawling through the grass at Glastonbury.
Found the third set. That was all fine. And then I thought, OK, I'm going to walk back now. But just couldn't find my way.
How did they come about?
Well, I was wandering around, and then I thought, I just thought, I'm going to have to throw myself on someone's mercy. So I
think you say tent then. I thought that's no way of doing it. Surely just knock on the flap first. That's the voice you need in the toilet.
I just saw these 3 friendly people, and I thought maybe I'll just approach them because I was getting desperate. So I said, look, I'm completely lost. And they said, we'll help you. We'll help you find these first set of loos, because if I found the first set, then I can find my tent.
I see.
So they said, look, we could be going all night, this is really useless, let's just go and sleep in our tent.
What's the setup with Thomas, Jenna and Joanna?
Well, this is a good point, Mob, because I did have that question.
Good point.
Unlike the postman. Good point.
I know. I got it. I was wondering when the joke was coming.
Well, that's the problem with postal jokes. It's always the next day when you get it.
All right, we need an answer. So, Lee's team. Are Jenna, Thomas and Joanna Kate's festival friends, Josh's school chums or David's bike buddies?
Think there's any truth in David's story?
Oh, no, not at all. No, not at all. Their escapade sounds like Toad of Toad Hall with the bike, going to the Boris bike, going down the canal. Regent's Canal, of course, that's near the zoo there, where you get lots of orangutans.
At the very least, it's unlikely.
Oh, it's definitely unlikely. I mean, it's worthy of anecdote. I mean, no one's going to come and say, these are, 3 people I said hello to in the post office. There's got to be an unlikeliness to it, or it's not worth televising. This is potentially worth televising.
I think it's Josh.
Brian thinks it's Josh.
Yeah.
Kevin?
I also think it's Josh.
Is it the ages? Because they do look very similar age. I have to say, Tom in the middle of the 3 looks like he's had a slightly harder life. I'm going to go with Josh.
You're going to say it's Josh. OK. On behalf of the 3, Joanna, would you reveal your true identities?
We are Joanna, Thomas and Jenna, and together we make up the entire year of Josh's school.
And here's the proof. We've got the school photo. Have a look. Thank you very much, Jenna, Thomas and Joanna. Which brings us to our final round, quick-fire lies, and we start with... It's Lee.
Because it irritates me so much, I'm always correcting people when they wrongly call fog mist and mist fog.
David.
All right. What is the distinction, Lee, between mist and fog?
Well, that is a very good question, David.
Yeah.
Any others? Mist is... I used to live by the coast. We used to have a lot of sea fret. You know sea fret.
Nope. What's sea fret?
Sea fret is like it's a sort of mist. Right. It's produced by the sea.
Fog-like, you might say.
That really irritates me, that, David. There is a thing called sea fret, and it's when the mist comes off the sea. It's the water that comes off the sea, and we used to have a lot of that. And I remember my mum said, oh, it's foggy again. And I killed her. I would say that was when it started. I call that day one.
So, here's a question maybe familiar to you,
Yes.
Lee. What is the difference between mist and fog?
I'll tell you exactly the difference. Mist comes from a very rainy day, which then becomes...
Misty.
Misty. Whereas fog is when it's foggy. Fog comes from a drop in temperature. It's very cold suddenly. There has to be a sudden temperature change for fog. Mist is the opposite and is often created by heat, which causes water to evaporate and thus causing mist. And be honest, you weren't expecting that, Luke.
So fog is as a result of a sudden drop in temperature, mist is a result of evaporation caused by heat.
Yeah.
And can you tell to look at it? Or do you have to have known the meteorological backstory?
You can tell by looking at it. Mist is... how can I describe it in layman's terms?
It's mist thinner.
Yeah, fog is denser. Mist is a little bit... It's a bit easier to see
But
some
how
of the
could you
mist.
tell the difference between a light fog and a heavy mist?
You can tell the difference in the same way as you can tell the difference between a light, fat person and a heavy, thin person.
When was the last time you corrected someone on
The
that?
last foggy day we had.
Who was it that you corrected?
Corrected a sailor, actually.
How did you find yourself to be
I was
with
on
a sailor?
fishing trip.
On a fishing trip?
On a fishing trip, just
Where?
off the west coast of Scotland.
What were you doing up there?
Lost. It was from Brighton we left.
What do you feel about the Paul Gascoigne song Fog on the Tyne?
I feel worse when he took that penalty and he missed.
Why do you find people making this mistake between two phenomena that do look pretty similar?
Why do you find
similar? Yes, of course they look similar.
No, they don't.
Well, they look similar. It's like the air is difficult to look through. What is it about the distinction between mist and fog that makes it a particular bugbear of yours?
I think it's because of when I lost my Uncle Pete at sea.
So what are you going to say, then? Is it the truth?
Lie.
Lie.
Lie. We think
So
it's a lie.
OK, Lee, truth or lie?
It's a lie.
Oh, that noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show, and I can reveal that David's team have won by 3 points to 2. Thanks for watching. Good night.